Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar series by Triple FAI. We will start shortly. Thank you very much.
Sudhir ji, good afternoon.
नमस्कार विनोद भाई
कैसे हैं सर? ऑल गुड?
all good
Vinod
all
bhai,
good good
Sudhir bhai, namaste.
afternoon to everyone
Good afternoon.
नमस्ते नमस्ते चैताली सॉरी लेट हो गया गुड
No
आफ्टरनून ज्योति जी
problem, no problem.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sudhir bhai.
या गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन
Good
Hussain
afternoon,
bhai is
Sudhir
also
bhai.
here. Hi, good afternoon.
Amit bhai, should we start? Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us in our webinar series called Images Influence. We are going to be starting in the next 2 minutes for sure. Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday afternoon. Amit Bhav, can we start with your permission?
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon and an official welcome to everybody from FAI. We are extremely pleased to present our knowledge series, and this one is called Image as Influence. This is the second session, which is going to be conducted by Ms. Jyoti Gupta. But before we as usual, we have certain formalities to be completed and certain protocols to be followed. Before that, our first session was on leveraging presence for leadership impact. The reason for starting this series called Images Influences because all of us are public figures in our own rights. All of us are brand ambassadors of our own companies. But more importantly, our people, our team, they are our brands wherever they go and they represent us. We thought at FAI that it was high time that we concentrate or rather do a program on where we enhance and articulate the importance of influence and why our image matters. Now, image does not just mean the way you dress, but it's the entire thing. It's the way you think, it's the way you portray yourself, the way you talk, the way you convey. Having said that, our first session was an absolute super hit, and we had a record number of participants for that. So thank you very much for liking the series. And our second topic for today is power of voice. How do you communicate with clarity, with confidence, as well as credibility? I think the last is the most important because in our industry, our word means everything. And we've very often heard not just our peers or our contemporaries or our seniors, but even people around us say, "Ki Jaban de di, so now we can't back out." Therefore, it is very, very important that when we talk, we present credibility because I don't think our business would survive if people didn't think we were credible. Along with that, it's very important to come across as being confident. Many a times we lose the plot when we tend to be nervous, and it's very right that we are going to be nervous. But it's again the image matters, and what they don't want to see is us sweating, but they want us to be seen in a confident light. Having said that, I would like to request our chairman, Shri Amit Kamatji, under whose blessings we've launched this new webinar series. Amit Bhav, can we have a few words from you, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Chaitali, and welcome everybody. And I wouldn't take much of your time because I'm sure you are eager to listen to Mrs. Jyoti Gupta. But Chaitali has already set the context for the webinar. I can only say two, three important points. That is, as they say, your first impression is your best impression. So people gauge you, whether it is in public life or whether it is in your organization life or it is in your personal life. People gauge you, people classify you when they meet you. And if you have to make a lasting impression on anybody whom you meet, you have to speak with clarity. Speaking with clarity doesn't mean with only your friends or your peers or your superiors or with your clients. Clarity of communication is absolutely essential to whomsoever you are speaking. The second, the topic is confidence. So whatever you speak, you need to be very confident about what you are talking. Your body language, your voice, voice modulation should exert confidence. So that's another important thing. And as Chaitali rightly said, that credibility. I mean, you cannot just speak something off the head, off the cuff, or something which you have heard, what you call it as grapevine, or just hear and say. Whatever you speak has to have a credibility, and only then people will take you seriously, because people often judge you, they classify you depending on how you conduct yourself, how you speak. Just as Chaitali said, the dressing is not important. So it's a combination of all your apparel, the way you talk, the way you conduct yourself, all will go a long way in creating an image of yourself and will help you in your not only in your organizational life, but your public life and your personal life as well. Having said this, Federation, it's our goal to provide more and more knowledge, information to upgrade skills and capacity of our members and the fraternity. So we conduct this webinar on various topics. Certain webinars are on our day-to-day logistics issues like customs, like shipping line matters, like economy, the state of economy and otherwise. Chaitali is leading this vertical in FFI, which encourages women and youth to join this logistics profession. One of our key areas which we are focusing on is gender equality in logistics and also youth emancipation in logistics, whereby we, try to get more and more youth into our profession. We have more and more women in the profession, which was in past considered as a male-dominated profession or a profession only for men. So these are our two goals, and that's why this vertical in FFI. And I mean, Chaitali, I would say I compliment you. You are doing a super job, and keep continuing doing this series. I am sure it will help a lot of people who attended. Thank you so much, friends, for hearing me out. And over to you, Chaitali. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amit Bhau. Your confidence in us means a lot, and thank you for your kind words. May I please request our immediate past chairman, Shri Dushyant Mulani ji, to please say a few words. Dushyant bhai?
Yes, thank you, Chaitali. Won't take much of everybody's time because we are very eager to hear Mrs. Gupta. And all said and done, everything starts with how do you converse, have a dialogue, and that marks your success or failure in life. So over to you. We want to hear Ms. Gupta very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dushyant bhai. And we learn a lot from you, the way you conduct yourself. So thank you very much. Before we hand over the mic to Jyoti, who absolutely needs no introduction, it would just be fair that Sudhir Bhai, our Vice President, but more importantly, our office bearer in charge of the women's wing, should say a few words. So Sudhir Bhai, can we hear you? And then we will pass on the baton to Jyoti.
Yeah, thank you, Chaitali. I won't take much time because we are already late by 10 minutes, and Chairman has elaborated a lot on today's topic. And Chaitali, my appreciation for the good work you are doing for the Federation and the topics you are selecting, because I personally feel what we are like to be a successful person in today's life, we should have a very good grooming. And all these traits which we are learning through all these knowledge sessions will help us to become a better and successful person in our day-to-day life. So my congratulations, and Jyoti ji, I welcome you to our Federation's webinar, and we are all eager to listen to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sudhir Bhai. It means a lot. And Jyoti, it's your turn. We look forward to hearing you. And for everybody who has joined us, I am extremely pleased, honored, delighted, and proud that Jyoti is our member from the Women's Wing. And one of the initiatives that we have, and it's a promise that we've made, is to highlight our women in logistics, and if they are doing anything different, to bring that to the forefront. And I'm so glad that at FFI we've been able to keep that promise for the last two terms, going forward in this term and again in the future. Jyoti, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and a very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to the webinar series. And absolute pleasure to be here again. Heartfelt thanks to Chaitali for inviting me over, and Dushyant sir, Amit sir, Sudhir sir, Dr. Neerav. Thank you for your, warm welcome and the encouragement which you have been giving me, and the overwhelming responses from our participants, which matters a lot. So thank you. And starting our today's session, I'm just sharing my presentation. I hope it is visible to everybody. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right. So before Jyoti starts off, just a couple of things. Request everybody to keep their mics muted. Number two is that the comments will go into the chat box, but should you have Q&A, which we'll be doing at the end of the session, that goes into the Q&A column, please. We won't be able to look at the chat box and then look into the Q&A. So the Q&A is only for your questions. Thank you very much, and please enjoy the session.
Sure. Okay, so today we will be speaking about the power of voice, how clarity, confidence, and credibility is all associated with the way you speak. So this is the session all about, and I would be emphasizing on the importance of using your voice modulation to project clarity, confidence, and obviously the way you speak helps you show your credibility as a person, as a professional in your working space. So for the next approximately 30 to 35 minutes, I will be, speaking on the importance of how you can work on this technique of enhancing your voice modulation. So attending meetings day in and day out has been a regular business for all of us, and we're like, either we are heading the meeting or we have been a participant in the meeting. But how your voice matters in each and every meeting, we will understand that importance today. And by the end of the session, I will be sharing certain practical tools and techniques which you can implement right away as a practice, because at the end of the day, practice is what matters. So even if we are professionals with years of experience in our particular domain, but still practice will help you come out more refined, more professional whenever it comes to your talks. So even when after me, in spite of having so many years of experience of conducting trainings and sessions, still at times I do get nervous and I do have those, butterflies in my stomach. So how do you overcome that? There are times when you would get nervous, you would, feel a little apprehensive facing your audiences. So how to overcome that without letting your audiences know that how you have prepared for the session matters. So at the end of the day, it is not the preparation, but how you project yourself, how well you present yourself matters a lot. So I would request you to please stay till the end of the session, because I have curated a special handout with the techniques and tools which I would be sharing with you all after the session is done. So that will be your takeaway as participants for attending this webinar and investing your very valuable and precious time with us. So starting the session with a video. This is a very interesting video. It is approximately for 6 minutes, but it has the gist of the whole session. So you will enjoy watching this video, and I'll be just playing this for you all.
Have you ever wondered why some people are really amazing at public speakers while other people simply put you to sleep the second they open their mouth? Look, the reason may be this: voice modulation. Voice modulation basically means controlling and adjusting the sound of your voice as you're speaking. Using better voice modulation means you're able to communicate your message much more effectively. Without voice modulation, you would sound boring and monotonous. In this video today, I'll be sharing with you 4 easy tricks that famous speakers and radio hosts use to modulate their voices during their public speaking presentations. Q&A Tuesday, all your voice questions answered. Hi, I'm Elisa James, founder of the Voice of Confidence Public Speaker Training, and I help people from all over the world speak with clarity, confidence, and competence. Now, regardless of whether you speak English as a second language or you're a native English speaker, if you're not using effective voice modulation techniques, you won't be an effective public speaker at all. So today we're going to dive into a really simple 4-step rule that all radio DJs use to keep their audiences captivated. It's called high, low, fast, slow. Let's start with number 1, high. When you change the pitch to a higher pitch when speaking, it sounds much more exciting and engaging than a lower pitch. To show you what I mean, listen to this sentence in a low pitch and then a high pitch. I am super excited to be here today. Let's try a higher pitch. I'm super excited to be here today. Now you feel and hear the excitement in my voice with the higher pitch. You can immediately see how powerful the higher pitch becomes with some sentences that require action, excitement, and passion. The sound of passion and excitement can be easily heard when someone is raising their pitch, because that's what we actually do when we are excited. We raise our pitch. So try reading or speaking a sentence out loud in a lower pitch and then a higher pitch so you can actually hear the difference for yourself. Number 2, low. Many radio and TV presenters, especially news readers, use a very low pitch to convey authority and a very serious tone of voice. We as listeners actually expect people in the media to sound like that because it conveys confidence simply by lowering the pitch. Here's a sentence spoken in 2 ways so you can hear the difference for yourself. Here it is in a high-pitched tone. Now, I really want you to pay attention to this. This is super important. And here it is again in a low-pitched tone. Now, I really want you to pay attention to this because it's super important. You can see that the first one sounded a bit too high and flippant, and it won't really grab people's attention so much. But the lower version really sounds like I mean business. This simple trick is so easy to do, and people really respond to these lower directives with respect because you sound like an authority simply by lowering the pitch. Number 3, fast. When you want to create excitement and action in your audience, the easiest way is to speak a sentence or 2 faster. It sounds exciting and engaging, and when done correctly, it will be super clear as well. Now, where people go wrong with this is by thinking that speaking their whole presentation at a fast pace will actually make it more interesting. This is not true. If you speak out something very fast, it will be impossible for your audience to keep up. So instead, what I want you to do is this. Choose certain sentences in your speech that could be ramped up with energy and enthusiasm and speed up that sentence only, then stop. Pause. Then the audience can assimilate the information they just heard. If you don't give them that pause, they may not understand what you said at all, and they'll spend their time thinking, trying to catch up. Number 4, slow. During a speaking presentation, using a slower pace for a really important piece of information will make the message land more powerfully in the ears of the listener. By slowing down certain points of tricky or complicated content, it'll make it much easier for your audience to really grasp the concept that you're talking about. Here's a sentence spoken far too fast for the message to be clearly understood. Business analysts, also known as BAs, help to define business problems via in-depth investigation and gathering of technical and non-technical information. What? Let's try it again. Slowly. Business analysts, also known as BAs, help to define business problems via in-depth investigation and gathering of technical and non-technical information. So you can see how important it is. If you're going to speed up, leave a pause. Some things need to be slowed down if it's really important. So you can see how very important the high, low, fast, slow rule is. Now that you know it, you can go home and do some practice for yourself. That's it today. Remember.
Okay, so that video was all about how you can use the different voice modulation techniques as per your content while speaking, and it is very basic and extremely important when it comes to your business meetings, and when you are talking to a group of people, or when you are talking in front of a larger audiences. The voice what you project makes that impact. It shows that confidence, and obviously carries a lot of credibility also. So, like in our day-to-day business, communication is the key, is the essence to everything. And effective communication is absolutely essential in today's world. So we have got different various reasons for why effective communication is so very important in our business. Uh, Basically, it fosters strong relationships, enhances teamwork, and drives success. So, mastering clarity, confidence, and credibility is vital for impactful interactions. So, be it your daily interactions with your colleagues, with your peers, with your teammates, with your clients, with your stakeholders, or be it your high end business meetings where you are addressing a group, you are addressing a larger audiences, or probably your international stakeholders. How you speak with clarity, confidence, adding credibility to it matters a lot. And today we are exactly going to understand how you can master these techniques while speaking. Okay. So everything basically when it comes to voice modulation revolves around your pace, tone, and pause. Okay. So I have a quick question for everybody. Like, in one word, how do you want to sound when you speak something important? Okay, so I would request you to please drop your comments in the chat box, and we would love to, read out those comments from you. That how do you want to sound when you actually speak in important conversations? One word for that. Okay, so please put in your comments in the chat box, and we would come back to know from you that what exactly do you feel. So how your voice shapes your perception of trust, authority, and competence. Okay, so this is how your voice is going to be, and it will show that authority, trust, and competence. And the three voice signals, whatever your voice plays around, is your pace, the speed at what you're speaking, the tone in which you're speaking, and the pause. Generally, people get very uncomfortable when it comes to a pause. Silence is not very comfortable for everybody, but from in my transition as from a trainer to a facilitator, I have learned that you have to start getting comfortable with silence also, because that pause, that silence gives an opportunity for your audiences to process the information which you have been giving to them. So pause, start getting comfortable with pause, start getting comfortable with silence as well. And the common credibility killers, like, this is an instant put off for everybody, like over explaining. When you are explaining a topic and you're over and over repeating the same things, that is a credibility killer. Nervous speed. Now, nervousness is not just seen in your body language, but it is heard in your voice also. So you have to be in control of that. Upward questioning tone. So whenever your tone is going a little high, it means that you are eliciting a question to your audiences. So be mindful of your tone, whether you're asking a question or whether you're interacting with them. And filler words. Filler words are basically your verbal and non-verbal fillers. This is something which I emphasized in my last session also, if you could remember. So these are the common credibility killers where you should avoid over explaining. Just explain a concept once and go back to your audiences if they need a clarification. And otherwise, you're good to move ahead. Nervous speed. If you sense that you're getting a little nervous, if you're forgetting your content, probably you are not very comfortable, take a pause. A pause for a second or two makes no difference. In fact, it helps you to recollect your confidence and move ahead in your conversation. And filler words. Whenever you feel the urge of using fillers while speaking, take a pause. This is the power of pause, which we generally overlook or probably we don't understand. But pause actually is very powerful and it helps you to communicate in a very effective and confident way. So, this is the science of voice and first impressions. Keep a check on your pace, the tone, and get comfortable with pause. Get comfortable with silence. Now, the key elements of clarity in communication, like concise message, focused delivery, structured content. Now, while for this presentation, even I did a lot of preparation before, presenting this to y'all. Why? Because there is a load of content which is available out there as far as voice, tone, and modulation is concerned. But how do you curate that content for your audiences is very important. Like, you cannot download your audiences with each and every information which is available out there. So filtering your content, that is structuring your content as per your topic, is very important. Then concise message. Understand what is the message behind the talk, what is the message behind the communication. So keeping it short and simple is very effective. Like, we have heard the saying that less is always more, right? So concise message will make it more impactful and it will be very easy for your people to understand that. And focus delivery. So whenever you are delivering a speech, speaking to audiences, or even in your daily conversation, keep your listeners' attention on center. Like, whatever whoever is the listener, try to keep their attention in center, like avoiding distractions. The main thing is avoid distractions and help your and try to convey your thoughts to clarity and maintain engagement through conversation. So whenever you complete a topic or whenever you probably complete a concept, go back to them and ask a few questions. So this will give you the idea whether they have been attentive while you were talking or how much, and it will also give them an opportunity to communicate with you. Communication is always two ways, we know, right? So giving your audiences an opportunity and chance to communicate with you all is by asking them relevant questions, taking pauses, and giving them the opportunity to process the information. So whenever you have got your next meetings, your presentations, your talks, do your homework. Doing your homework is very important, like focusing on the content, focusing on the delivery, and focusing on the conciseness of the message. These are the key elements of clarity in your communication. If you have mastered this, that means you have really worked on clarity in your communication. Moving ahead. Now, how do you achieve clarity in speaking? So there is a very simple structure to it. That is, you first come up with the point on what you are going to speak. Then always you can start your communication with the conclusion. Like, whatever is your topic, you can first give the conclusion of that topic. Starting conversation with the conclusion gives your audiences a fair idea about what you are going to speak. And then giving them relevant examples and then closing. Starting, giving the context of what you're going to speak, giving a conclusion, like what is the benefit or what is the idea of having this whole conversation. After that, giving them a few examples relevant to whatever your topic was, and then closing. This is the structure of speaking with clarity. That is structure plus simplicity. So if you follow this particular structure, point, reason, example, close, you are definitely going to achieve clarity in your communication. Okay, so a very effective tool. Probably you can even try in your next meetings and see how it works and what the response is. So in this way, you can achieve clarity in your communications by simplifying messages and focusing only on the key points. And it will ensure that the ideas resonate and are understood by the audiences. So, downloading a huge load of information, you can bifurcate the information into key points, give the reason why you are using these key points as a conclusion, give few examples, and then close the conversation. So you will definitely achieve clarity with this way of speaking. Then when we come to confidence through voice control, so when you're speaking, your breath plays a very important role while speaking. Okay, so how you breathe uh, controls the whole voice modulation. So whenever you are entering into a conversation, or whenever you know that it is now your turn to speak, you probably sit relaxed with your shoulders relaxed, your hands at ease, and take 3 to 4 deep breaths. Like that is breathe in from your nose and breathe out from your mouth. Attempt this breathing exercise at least 3 to 4 times. It will help you relax your whole body, and you will be in control of your breathing. And whenever you have to start your conversation, first take a deep breath and then start your conversation, because you must have noticed, like, people fall short of breath while speaking. Why this happens? Because they have not, have got control on their breathing. So whenever you know that it is now your turn to speak, first relax and take 3 4 deep breaths. And then once you have done that, take a deep breath again and start with your conversation. So this will show this will focus on the confidence. It will anchor the confidence on you, and plus your volume plus authority. So according to the topic what you're going to speak, your volume should accordingly go high and low, which will emphasize on authority. And how to sound calm under pressure. So this is the tricky one, right? Where we want to sound absolutely calm under pressure. So that is eliminating the hesitation makers. The hesitation makers are like, again, oh, actually, basically, kind of. So these are the words which are basically hesitation makers. It shows that hesitation, that nervousness in your voice. So basically eliminate them. And how can you eliminate them? By taking a pause, by focusing on your breathing, and then you continue with the conversation. And whenever you feel that you are getting under pressure in a conversation, the best way to control your anxiousness is to stay calm, take 2 or 3 deep breaths, pause before answering. So you will see that you are very much in control of the conversation without showing your anxiousness or nervousness. Now this is a very tried and tested technique, so you can try this next time whenever you feel that the conversation is getting a little pressurized and you're getting anxious or you're panicking during the conversation. Now, tone and emotional intelligence in difficult conversations. So we all are very happy with conversations which are, smooth flowing and happy conversation. But that is not the case always. We get into difficult conversations. We get into conversations which, slightly start getting aggressive and then conflicting. So in those conversations, how do you maintain your authority without being too bossy and without showing your aggressiveness? It all depends on your voice. So it is said that the intent doesn't matter, but the impact what it is making definitely matters. So what you say will not matter as much, but the way you say will definitely matter. So that is where your voice modulation comes into picture. So tone shifts meaning, right? So whatever the meaning could be of what you're saying, but the way you say it will definitely change the meaning. And we must have all experienced this at some point at some point in time in our conversations, right? Neutral versus defensive versus assertive tone. Whenever it comes to being in control of the conversation, see to it that your tone is always neutral rather than getting defensive or assertive. And how to disagree without sounding assertive. So there are certain authority phrases which you can use while speaking. So you might not sound defensive also, neither you will sound aggressive, but you will definitely sound assertive and neutral. Like when you are getting into conversations which are difficult, so you can use phrases like, let me examine this, okay, here's my perspective, I may suggest, or this is my point. So rather than getting into aggressive language that I don't agree to you, I whatever you're saying is wrong, your suggestion doesn't make any difference. So rather than using these negative phrases, you can replace that with positive ones, and which will make you look in control, which will make you look authoritative, and which will make you look assertive, rather than getting defensive or aggressive. So this is how you can replace certain phrases and sentences while speaking, keeping your authority in control. So it might, completely shift your conversation. Now, building your communication confidence. So gaining confidence is not a one-day thing that you attend a training session or probably you attend a webinar and you get confident. Trainings and webinars will give you the tools and techniques on how you can work, but you need to put in some effort, time and effort from your end on working on these skills. So preparation, practice, and more positive mindset is absolutely essential, and almost everybody over here will agree with me that your mindset matters a lot when it comes to communication. So as far as possible, try to have a mindset which is positive. Okay, like we might be having millions of things which we are dealing with day in and day out, and it affects our mood also at some given point of time. But trying to keep that mindset always positive uh, uh, affects your communication a lot. You must have experienced this also many a times, that what frame of mind you are into will impact your communication. So most probably try to have a mindset which is positive, because your positive mindset will again show into your body language, and it will show in your voice also. So try to work on a mindset which most of the time keeps you in a positive outlook. Practice and preparation. So this goes without saying, like whenever you know that you have meetings, you have conversations, or you are getting into something important where you are supposed to speak, have your preparation and practice in place. Maybe even if it is for just 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever little time you can invest, but don't just walk into a room unprepared and with a mindset which is not in sync with the vibe of the room. So before doing that, take 10 minutes, do your little preparation, practice a little bit, change your mood, get into a mindset which is positive. Okay, I have to get into this conversation, I have to give my best, I'm going to keep aside all my worries and just focus on the conversation. So these positive mind talks will help you change your mood. It will reflect in your body language also, and plus it will sound in your it will affect your voice also, your pace, tone and pitch. Okay, so preparation is the key, practice is the key, and having a positive mindset should be a habit to everybody. It makes a lot of difference, and probably you must have even experienced this, but try to bring this in your lifestyle more, so which will help you. Okay, projecting confidence, your body language, your tone of voice. This is something which I have been emphasizing a lot, because you must have noticed that the way your body language is, it affects the tone of your voice also. So your tone of voice shapes your perception. A strong, clear tone conveys authority and certainty, while a varied pitch and pace keeps listeners engaged, making your communication impactful. So according to your topic, ensure that your pitch is varied and the pace at what you're speaking keeps your listeners engaged. Now, again, I would say that this is not a one day thing. You would need to practice a little bit to master this, master the modulation of your voice and your body language. So, again, your body language is very crucial when you speak. Open postures, eye contact, purposeful movements, especially when you are on a podium speaking to people, enhances your message, engages your audiences, reinforcing your words with visual strength. So that is where your credibility comes into picture. Now, assertive communication without aggression. So again, a tricky one to master, where you sound assertive without being aggressive. It can be difficult, but it is not impossible at all. So it is like, again, the way you speak, be in control of your tone, and replace the negative phrases with positive phrases, like, let me complete the thought, I see it differently, here's why. Let's stay with the main issue, especially if you have people who are interrupting a lot during the meeting. When you're speaking and you have people who interrupt a lot, you are not able to complete a sentence and you have an interruption. So how do you handle them? At some point of time, you might slightly see that aggression coming in your voice, in your body language, that let me complete. You might not be able to tell that to the person, but somewhere in your mind you're thinking that I still have to complete, let me complete my point. So rather than showing that in your body language, in your voice, you can replace those phrases, like where you can say, let's stay with the main issue, I understand your point, I will complete this and then probably we can discuss. So this is very easy to get assertive rather than getting aggressive and cutting the person off completely. Very and this we must have experienced a lot, where people keep interrupting during meetings, keep interrupting during conversations, and you are just not in control. So as a leader, as an authoritative figure in the room, how do you be in control of the conversation without being intimidating? So these are the power phrases which you can use while talking, and which will show you assertive rather than being aggressive. And obviously not let that come in your body language and the tone. Very important. So credibility building trust and authority. So credibility builders pauses, emphasis, and listening. Over here, I would like to ask a question to you all again. Like, what signal shows when someone is really listening to you? Okay, I would want you to leave your answers in the comment. Like, when do you understand that someone is really listening to you? How do you understand that? Through the person's body language, or the way the person is looking at you, or the way the person is answering the questions to you, how, what signal it gives that that person is really being attentive to you. So please leave your comments in the chat box. We would love to hear from you. Credibility builders, pauses, emphasis, and listening. So as leaders, as being representatives of our organizations or the particular businesses what we are dealing with, we all agree that listening is the key, is the essence to effective communication, right? So most of us would agree that we listen to answer rather than we listen to understand. Most of the time it happens, right? Even if we do not want to, but it happens that we are in a hurry to reply back to the person rather than understanding what the person is trying to say. So that is a slight difference over here, and we should try to emphasize on the importance of listening to understand rather than listening to reply. So over here, your credibility lies basically on your pauses, the way you pause during conversation, your emphasis, how you're giving importance to your audiences or the person to whom you're speaking to, and the way you're responding back when the other person is speaking. These are your main credibility builders. Okay, so strategic pause is equal to authority. So be comfortable with pause, be comfortable with silence. Try and give that opportunity to the other person to resonate with what you're talking. Emphasize on words, especially your key words or your key talks. Give a lot of emphasis on them while speaking. Listening voice cues. So listen very empathetically and listen to understand rather than to reply. So these small triggers, are your everyday, will turn your everyday talks into leadership movements. Okay, your everyday talks can also turn into a leadership movement if you emphasize on pauses, if you emphasize on words, on the key words or the key message in your sentence, and if you give importance to listening to your audiences or the people with whom you're interacting. This is how you can build credibility, trust, as well as maintain authority rather than sounding aggressive, defensive, or intimidating. So, almost coming to the end of the session, I would be giving you certain tips and techniques which will help you to work on your voice clarity and credibility, which you can, use in your daily life, and probably if you're heading towards an important conversation, important discussions. These are techniques which will help you speak confidently. Of course, it will help you enhance your confidence. It will help you give that projected confidence in your body language, in your voice, in your tone, the way you talk, and your overall credibility will definitely increase with this. Okay, so we are here to make confident speakers who captivate the audiences by using engaging body language, maintaining eye contact, and varying tone to enhance the message, creating a memorable communication experience. So this is how you can do that. So this is your webinar takeaway tips on voice clarity and credibility. So for voice and confidence, what you can do: slow your pace by 10 to 15%. Authorities sound unhurried. So whatever is your pace of speaking, deliberately bring it a little slower, at least 10 to 15%, because when you are an authority, you shouldn't be hurried. Okay, so that is the key. Breathe before you begin. Breath controls voice and steadiness, something which I just emphasized during my talk. Lower your starting tone and avoid sounding unsure. So not necessary that you start with a high pitch. You can start with a low pitch, and then as according to your topic, you can vary your pitch. Finish sentence downward, not like a question. So when you're talking, you finish at a downward tone, because when you project your tone, it looks like you're asking a question. So finish a sentence towards a tone which is a little downward. Volume is equals to presence, not loudness. Okay, this is the key, that your volume should project your presence and not your loudness. Aim is for steady projection. So your projection should be steady. You shouldn't be too loud, but at least your presence should be felt in the room. Clarity in speaking. So use the formula: point, reason, example, and close, something which I just stated in my conversation. One message per sentence. Don't overload your audiences with a lot of information. Just one message per sentence. Replace long explanation with short, structured statements. Say it once, don't keep re-explaining, and remove verbal clutters. Like these are your fillers: actually, basically, kind of, just, maybe, So remove these verbal clutters. And if you feel the urge of using fillers, take a pause. That is the power of pause. So a pause for 2 seconds help you stimulate what you are going to speak next, and you are able to frame your sentences in a better way rather than sounding unsure. The power of pause. Pause before a key point, pause after a key point. So silence is equal to authority and not weakness. So if you're silent for a moment, that doesn't mean you are unsure, but that silence is a strategic pause which you have used to process the information. If you lose on words, pause. Don't panic. So if you think that you're forgetting what you had to say, so don't panic. Just pause. It helps you to recollect what you have to speak, and this is tried and tested. You can take this particular technique and see how it helps you. A 2 second pause increases perceived confidence. So even if you pause for 2 seconds, it will enhance your confidence. Credibility builders start with conclusion, then explain. So it is always okay to start your talks with conclusion and then explain your point. Use data or example, not opinion alone. So it is always good to support your talks with some relevant data, some relevant examples, and not just your opinion. It will give your audiences a better picture, a better thought on what you are speaking about. If you use data, if you use examples, if you use storytelling in your talks. Avoid over apologizing language. Again, very important. So don't be overly apologetic when you are talking. So you can replace sorry by words like my recommendation, my thoughts, this is what I feel, rather than I'm sorry about it, I didn't understand, or could you please repeat that for me. So you can just changing a few words can completely change the tone of the conversation. So don't be overly apologetic while talking. Change the phrases and you will see the change in your communication. Assertive communication. Use leadership phrases like, let me clarify, here's the point, I see it differently, let's focus on priority. So don't rush to fill silence. Don't soften every statement. So we are always in a rush to fill the silence. Okay, the silence is getting prolonged, let me quickly speak something. So don't rush. I mean, we should get a little comfortable with the silence. It is absolutely fine. In fact, it gives time to you and your audiences to process the information, whatever has been shared. And use these leadership phrases. It will put you in more authority, more control of the conversation, and it will make you sound very confident that yes, you know what you're talking. It will make you absolutely sure, and definitely it will project your credibility as well. Listening and tone. So listening is the essence of every communication. Listen before you reply. So before you are planning to reply, first let the other person complete what they have to say. Match your tone to the message. So as I said, your intent doesn't matter, but the impact will definitely matter. So match your tone as per the topic, whatever you're going to say. Neutral tone rather than emotional tone in conflict. Always try to have your tone neutral rather than getting emotional when, especially in conflicts, especially in difficult conversations. That this is the tricky one. If you are able to have a control on your tone in conflicted situations, that means you are really good at communicating. Smile slightly while speaking. It changes vocal warmth. So your smile is not just seen, it is heard also. So smiling will take you a long way, and it adds that warmth in your voice. Sure, and respect shows in your tone before words. It goes without saying that being respectful in every conversation is a must, and it shows in your tone even before your words. So this is something which is related to listening and tone. And last but not least, daily 2-minute practice habit. What you can do. So 1 minute, read aloud. Okay, whatever sentence or anything, whatever you want to read, probably an article, read it aloud slowly for 1 minute. Mark pauses for a minute. Record one clear message. We all have smartphones. Record one message and listen to it. Try to remove fillers and then re-speak with structure. Trust me, this is a very easy practice which you can do to enhance your voice, enhance your tone, and sound credible. So this is a very quick exercise which you can practice probably before your important talks, meetings, discussions, and see the difference when you re-speak with structure. See how you sound, listen how you sound, and you can make out the difference in your practice only, that you have remarkably improved with practice. So with this with this I am ending this webinar on voice, tone, and credibility. And the key to effective leadership is simple authenticity. So being as authentic as possible is the key to effective leadership. It is simple. Be authentic, be yourself, but try to communicate with confidence, with authority. And these strategies, these small changes will help you master that art of communication. And with this, a very thank you to all of you for joining in. And I will be sharing this handout. I have curated a handout for everybody, all the participants who are there. I will be sharing that handout with you all, which you can as a practice tool for you. And you can practice this at any point of the day, even while traveling, you can do that. And this handout will help you, especially to work on your voice modulation, your tone, and help you build your confidence, credibility, and clarity. So that is all from me. Thank you very much. We are open for questions, if any.
Thank you, Jyoti. Absolutely brilliant and very interesting, very relatable. Your examples were absolutely not just fascinating, but very insightful also. I'm sure that a lot of people have had a lot of takeaways and a lot of introspection ourselves as to what we want to convey and how we are doing it. And thank you for keeping it so real that you still have butterflies in your stomach. I think that speaks more than anything else because one of the most common things is I don't know how to speak in public and I'm scared. And not everybody realizes that a lot of us who are so-called extroverts were actually introverts and still have nervousness when we speak. So thank you for speaking for all of us. Vinod bhai?
Yeah, it was wonderful session, Jyoti ma'am, and communication. When it comes to communication, it not necessarily there's a age bar. At any age, we can learn communication. And the main takeaway for me, if you ask me, the PRACE method. That is point, reason, example, and close. That is very good idea for everybody. And if we can utilize in our meetings and in our day-to-day business, definitely it work very well for all of us. So a lot of takeaways. And yes, the tools you have given at the end of this session, really we as a leaders also will go through those tools and will definitely practice those tools. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank
Vinod bhai.
Thank
Thank you. Jyoti, if you can please send it to us, then we will send an email to the trade with these tools. Swati, if we can please circulate it by tomorrow once Jyoti madam sends it to us. If you can send it to us, Jyoti, that would
Yes,
be really nice.
yes,
And we
I
can
will.
send it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have
Thank you.
specially curated for the audiences, our participants. So I will be
Yes.
sharing it.
Thank you. Because there could be a lot of people, even though they have not attended, which is their bad, which is their bad luck. But at least we'll be able to share this. So those of them who would like to still try and do it, because we will be releasing this video in some time, not now, but at that point of time, then they can correlate with the booklet and then they can do it. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay, I would now like to request our honorary secretary, Shri Sudeep Dev. Sudeep Dar.
Yes.
It's that time, Sudipda.
What time? Vote of thanks?
Vote of thanks, but more importantly, for you to give your feedback.
No, feedback is I was going through those slides and it actually made me very happy in the sense that I always keep thinking that when someone speaks, this is the way one should speak. For example, making short sentence. You see, many politicians, for example, you see Lalu Prasad Yadav. He is not fluent in any English or anything, but he always speaks in small sentences and clear-cut sentences. And he's an excellent communicator in whichever way. Atal Bihari Vajpayee takes pauses, small sentences, excellent communicator. So all your slides and all your points, I mean, it ratified all that I used to think was good for a good communicator. So thank you for ratifying all those points. And yes, tone is a very, very important thing, which I personally believe. And with the tone, if you have a smile, I mean, there are people who can be actually very, if I may use the word abusive, but they say it in a tone and with a smile that it does not hurt that other person. But he said what he said, he's got across what he's got across. So thank you for giving us all these points. And because, see, we as custom brokers, there are a lot of personal hearings which we do. There are a lot of, and especially the federation leadership, there's a lot of communication we do with the higher people at the government who are actually making the policy. And communicating to them with clarity what we want, why we want it, is of utmost importance to us.
Right.
So, having said that, I would rather say that this was a very informative webinar, very pertinent to us. We are in a era of communication where communication has no alternative, and you might be technically a very sound person, you might be a very knowledgeable person, but if your communication is bad, it does not add value to any of those. So thank you for giving us these inputs. Do we have any question answers, Chaitali?
No, we don't have question answers. Nobody's put in any question answers, but we've got lots of wonderful feedback actually. Lots of wonderful feedback. And people have said thank you, good session, excellent session, looking forward for more sessions, lots of takeaways, lots of learning. So in general, just basics. Padma ji, of course, she tries and attends every single time. So thank you if she's still here. She mentioned, Jyoti, saying that true attentiveness means feeling seen, heard, remembered. You had asked about it. So a lot of them have even replied to your points and all. But it's very clear that they all were listening and paying attention. We pretty much had a full house for the entire session. So that is huge, actually.
Chalo. So I guess you can say thank you and we can close it with the permission of chairman and IPC.
Yes. Amit Bhai, Dushan Bhai, Sudhir Bhai, would you like to say anything?
Hi, Chaitali. I
Hi,
heard
Sudhir Bhai.
everything. I think Sudeep Bhai has summed up it beautifully. The session was excellent. In my younger days, when I used to be very active in JC's Youth Club, we used to have these sessions which used to teach us in effective public speaking, effective communication, leadership in action. All those memories have come once again into my mind, and I'm telling you from my own experience, those courses at that time of has actually give a lot of positiveness in our own personality, and I believe sooner or later everyone will realize ki what a good communication, a good personality, and you when you speak with some assertive voices, then things become much more clearer to somebody whom you are communicating. So I do recognize the importance of this tool, and it has been beautifully brought out in this webinar. Thanks to Jyoti. for doing such a wonderful session. And I look forward to many more in times to come. Thank you, Chaitali.
Thank you, Sudeep bhai. Thank you, Amit bhai, Dushan bhai. Okay. Thank you everyone for attending and staying with us. Amit bhai.
Yeah, it's a wonderful session. I think Sudeep and Sudhir bhai have summed it up very well. And I'm very glad that whatever seminars or webinars on different topics that we are putting up, I mean, there is an audience to that, and there are members are appreciating it. That is thanks to you, your effort also. It's compliments to you, Chaitali. And I'm sure, as Sudhir bhai rightly said, public speaking courses, was one of the things people used to look forward to during our school and college days for this debate competitions and all. There was, I think, in Bombay, there was one Nazareth who used to
Yes,
do public
Nazareth and that Indo-American Chambers, they were doing it.
Indo-American Chamber. You're right. They used to do those courses. But thank you, Mrs. Jyoti, for your wonderful session. I mean, communication plays a lot of importance, and you have content, but unless you communicate properly, it does not have the desired effect. So it's always important that you communicate with clarity, with confidence, with credibility. I mean, it was an apt topic which you had selected, and I'm sure members have appreciated it. I'm glad that to see that wonderful feedback which is coming. So thank you, Chaitali, and let's look forward to more such webinars.
Thank you, Amit bhai, for your confidence, and thank you everybody for all the kind words that you've said. And most importantly, thank you, Jyoti. You've pretty much nailed it on the head because communication is very important. And with that, thank you, Padmaji. I cannot tell you how much it means to have you every single time for every single session that we do, no matter which part of the world you are in. So thank you very much. And thank you to the audience for being here. We love having you here. So please do keep coming and attending our sessions. Jyoti will come back again with yet another topic. Until then, we wish you a wonderful evening ahead and a fantastic week. And thank you once again, Jyoti. We will set up your next session very soon then. Thank you. And please, if you can share the booklet, the worksheet with Swati, so that we can have it circulated tomorrow itself while it is fresh in everybody's minds.
Absolutely, I will do that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinod bhai. Thank you, Amit bhai. Thank you, Dushan bhai. Thank you, Sudipta. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, for your kind comments. Appreciate them a lot.
End the session? Chairman sir, shall I end the session?
Yes, yes.